Man, every time when I'm drinking, that's when I go live. I think I'm live. I haven't used this through a desktop, so I hope I'm in a group. Hello, how are we? Let me just wind this down a little bit. Fix the hair. All right. Hi, Sharon. How are you? Oh, Tracy's here. Hi. I'm not used to using live on my desktop. I don't even know where I'm supposed to be looking. So if I'm cross-eyed, I apologize. Hi, Sophia. How are you? I'm a tad late because well, I was trying to figure out how to go live. Do I go live from my laptop? Do I go live from my phone? What's going to be better? I'm here. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I would love to actually take this time to thank um, Carly, Carly Marie, for putting all this together, for showcasing us. Man, we've got it good with her. She sure does look after us. Now, if we haven't met, now I don't know if I'm supposed to be inviting people. I feel like whoever needs to be here will be here. And if you missed the live, you can catch the replay, right? And if I miss your questions during this live, because I might be in the zone, I will come back and I will answer them, I promise. So, if we haven't met, and there's a good chance we haven't, because there's like, oh my God, over 1,000 of us here. That is pretty epic. Good effort. So if we have not met, I'm Kasha Burke, and I'm, what's my latest fancy title? I guess a life purpose unveiler and intuitive business mentor. And essentially what I guess I do, to those of you who don't know me, is I have life path sessions or readings where I share with you your past life, your gifts, like your superpowers, your life lessons that your soul chose to come down here with and learn, your purpose. So I can give you this whole blueprint of why you're here and what you're here to do. And I guess today what I would love to talk to you about, gosh, I have to really think. I've made notes in my fancy Carly diary, and I don't usually make notes, but I made notes because I had so much that I wanted to talk to you about, and I had to say, Kasha, these people have a life. You cannot take up too much of their time. So I promise I'm not gonna waffle on too much, and I really want to share with you. I guess I want you to walk away from this chat feeling like you're a little bit closer, maybe to discovering your purpose. That perhaps you look at life here on what I like to call Earth School a little bit differently, a little bit lighter, a little bit easier. So I'm going to share some stuff with you that might feel a little bit woo-woo, a little bit crazy, but just stick with me. Just stick with me and it will all come together at the end, I promise. Before I dive into that though, oh, hi, Alicia's here. Hi, Alicia. Thank you, Sharon, for popping in. Thanks for the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let me just give you a little bit of a background story on me. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about myself because I know if you don't really know much about me, you know, what's the difference, right? Let's get to the juicy stuff. But I do want to give you a little bit because I want to make sure that you know, like, I wasn't born with a special gift. I don't think. Although having said that, we're all very psychic, intuitive, and all that. I believe we're all born actually with the special gift. But what I'm trying to say is that I guess hi Brooke. I guess what I'm trying to say is I never really saw spirits, or not that I remember as a child. At least no one told me that I saw spirits or ghosts or anything like this. So I don't have a extraordinary story to share there. Um, Really, all I can remember is that my mother was always into tarot cards. My grandmother was tarot cards and pendulum. My aunt was always able to see energy and sort of auras. So we're just your typical normal family, tarot cards were on a coffee table kind of thing. And so I had my own deck even in primary. Yep, had my own deck, and I used to every morning pull my cards and ask, is my maths teacher going to grill me in front of the class? And if the card said yes, then you bet I'm not going to school. Because for some reason, and I don't know how, every time when I was doing the cards as a little kid, we're talking like 10 years or something, I was 10 or 11, whenever I did the cards, I thought I'm making stuff up. I never used a book because, who has time to read all that? So I thought I'm making stuff up. I'm just talking, and I thought it was a bit of fun. But then it was happening, like it was coming true. So, like, I would take them to school, I would read them for my friends, and, like, does the boy like me? Is he going to kiss me? Is he going to ask me out? And it always somehow happened. So I was never a popular kid, ever, ever. Um, but I had my moment in spotlight every time I took my cards. So I was taking them quite often. And we had fun. And we were doing the cards. And another interesting thing that happened around that time also that I feel like I should mention to you um, was that, okay, so coming, because I lived in Poland then, Poland, very religious Catholic, and we had, religion at school. My parents weren't very religious, but I still loved going to church. Just, I loved the atmosphere there. And I always felt like I was talking to God, but maybe it was my guides or maybe an invisible friend. And my kind of invisible friend, let's say that, didn't match the description of what I was taught at school. Because there they were teaching us that you have to be frightened and he's very vengeful, right? But I always had these conversations with them. Every time I felt scared or nervous or something, it was always like he would I always got this feeling afterwards like everything's going to be fine. You're fine. I've got you. And I continued this well into my adulthood. Every night I would be grateful for the day and everything that has happened. So then, this was when I was about 10, 11. And then, I continued. And then we moved here to Australia. And there's a whole another nugget of a story there. But we moved here to Australia. And again, I started taking my cards to school because, again, when I was reading them, thinking I'm just making stuff up, but actually things were coming true for these girls that were coming and allowing me to read for them. So I was doing these readings, and then I was about 18, and I did two separate readings for my friends. Okay, and this is where the story gets juicy. Because the things that I saw in these cards, or the things that were coming out of my mouth, were actually pretty dark and sinister and not nice, and bad things were going to happen to them. And we kind of laughed it off, but those things happened. And by the way, my friends are okay now, but I got kind of frightened because I thought if I'm making this up and it happens, then I must be jinxing them. So I put my cards away and I'm like, I'm done with them. I'm not touching them again. And then 2 years ago, around time my dad was really ill and we changed our diet to like a plant-based, and then eventually he passed away. But the changing our lifestyle, changing what we ate, I believe was like the beginning of the awakening for me, because I started gravitating towards meditation last year because of it, like the whole mindset, spiritual stuff started popping up. Um, And that kind of pushed me into meditating, like meditation. I meditate every morning. Now at the moment it's 4:30 in the morning. And then I noticed that in my meditations, things that were popping up were my husband's past lives, my kids' past lives, my friends' past lives. Um, and I knew it was past life. There was like all this information that was popping in and why he's here and why and what they're doing and all this stuff, and it all made sense. And I felt it and I saw it, and it was like, whoa, what's happening? And then enters Miss Carly Marie. And when Miss Carly Marie entered and I did a little reading for her, she had way more faith and a bigger vision for me than I did, to be honest with you, because she saw something. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what this is. How is it going to help anyone? And if it wasn't probably for Carly, I wouldn't have leaped, because I was used to, as a business coach or an entrepreneur that was using the knowledge that was in my head. I was used to, even when I created something, I had to know exactly from beginning to end how it's going to look. And I used, like I said, the knowledge that was in my head. Whereas here, I was asked to do something that I didn't really know what I was doing, how it was going to happen, nothing. And I guess if there's one thing that you take from my chat here, I hope it's this moment that when you're ready, not when you're ready, but let's say you have a big vision for yourself, you have something that you want to do, but you don't have all your ducks in a row. And so you wait till you're ready, you wait till you feel deserving, or you feel like um, you are someone to be talking about it because an X amount of time has passed that in your head makes it okay now to talk about this or offer this or create this. And so you wait. You wait till everything is perfect. And that's where you miss your chance. I feel this is what I'm learning now. Because since I started doing this, there were so many moments where I didn't know what I was doing. Like I had to have faith that my guides brought me to this. They gave me these, whatever these gifts or this opportunity to help, and they wouldn't do it just to lead me astray. So I had to have faith. So I just want to say, when you have a great idea and it makes you like all excited and you know it's going to be amazing, but you don't have all your ducks in a row, just leap. And as they say, the universe will catch you. Tracy is waiting for a perfect note. Oh, Tracy. Tracy's amazing. So I am here now. And now that we know a little bit about me, I would love to share with you actually this idea of souls and why we're here, what we're here to do, the idea of a purpose. And it all really starts with, I guess, the fact that souls, when they reincarnate the first time, they don't all reincarnate on Earth. So we have Earth souls and souls that have first originated somewhere else, star, world, whatever you want to call it. And there's so many different ones, which I'm learning about now, and I find it fascinating because I was never into Galaxy. I was never into Starship Enterprise. I never watched even Star Wars till recently. So all this sort of quantum physics, all that stuff is new to me, right? I didn't know about guides. I do know about souls, but learning that there's other stars where our souls originated from is amazing to me, and especially blueprinters, because quite a few of my clients at the moment are blueprinters. So blueprinters, we don't actually know where they originated from, but they're a group of souls who actually created the idea of Earth as the school where souls will come and they learn. So you have the blueprint originator, who's kind of like not in human terms, but let's say he's like the nerdy guy who sits in, in his parents' cellar, whatever, and comes up with a game, right? Like, I've got this idea for a cool game, and I just need some people to kind of make it happen. So then the blueprint designer comes in. The blueprint designer, so that's another group of souls, and they are responsible for making it happen, like taking that blueprint and putting it all into perspective. So they're not the ones who created the physical aspect of Earth, but the fact that souls will come here will forget everything. You have the physical demands, you have to navigate through relationships, the emotional stuff, all that things, and then hopefully at some point you will wake up and you will remember where home is, and you will help others to wake up. And then when you die, you go back, you report, and then you have the chance to reincarnate. So then the blueprint technicians come in, another soul group. And the blueprint technicians, usually they're very analytical, they're very matter of fact, very logical. So the designers are very artistic. The originators are very, I said nerdy, but I really mean they're sort of a bit distant. They're the kind of people that don't like to mingle with people, they like to observe. A lot of people who are, they view the world a little bit differently. They're the originators. Designers, very artistic. Technicians are very analytical. And they're the ones that put the details in, very specific details. So then, like for example, the free will. So then we have the blueprint deliverers. Now, the blueprint deliverers are usually the very kind, gentle, wear their heart on a sleeve kind of people, and they are here to bring love. So they're here to awaken people back with love. Often they are spiritual. They might be very mindful of the way they live, reducing their carbon footprint, gentle living. They're very loving, non-judgmental people. And they're here basically to awaken people and remind them, okay, where you're from. And then there's the blueprint translators, which usually those are the spiritual leaders, yogis, who are so connected with the spiritual, the divine. The spirit connection is so strong, and they're here again trying to remind people that it's not about possessions, it's not about the everyday struggles. There's so much more to life. And then we have the blueprint changes, which I am absolutely fascinated with. They are the survivors. So the survivors, as in the blueprint changes, will intentionally reincarnate into families, into situations that are traumatic, that are extremely hard. Bad things usually happen in human terms to them. And they go through this process and come out the other end, as survivors, and are here to help others that are in the same situation, but they haven't managed to awaken. So a lot of, let's say, people who, that hero's journey, they've traveled, they've had that hero's journey, they've had extreme hardship when they were little, but they managed to survive this and use the experience to help others. So all these, and what they do is actually they go back, right? So their job is to go back and talk about the negative aspects. So if you live like through all the hardship and stuff, like what happens? What do you do as a human? How do you navigate so that in your next lifetime, when you go back, you can sort of find it easier to deal with it, right? But while you're here, you help those who struggle to navigate through it. So the blueprinters, I'm getting a lot of clients now who are blueprinters because they usually reincarnate. So I was told when there's big shifts happening, when there's historical events that are really big, that's when they come in. And it's almost like they just come every now and then and they try to fix it. They fine tune the game. They, wake up people, remind them. They all have the roles to play. So they created this game, right? Earth School. It's a little bit, I like to think of it like The Good Place. If you've seen it is it on Netflix, I think. The Good Place, like they've created this game, this world. And the reason I'm sort of pointing it out is because I really want you to understand, I guess, how that all works with what our roles are here, what your role is here. Um, and hopefully this will give you a little bit of sort of like peace of mind or grace that, it's not something, the struggles that you have or the things that you're trying to learn, you have a whole lifetime to do it, right? And it's not for nothing, and life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. So in this game, and the way it was designed is to play it not like, let's say, Monopoly game when your kids want you to play and they've been nagging you all day, but you're like, oh, I really have to go and make dinner, but fine, because they're nagging, you're like, fine, let's play. And you're kind of one eye here, but you're one eye kind of thinking, oh God, I have to wash the dishes, I better start dinner soon, and you roll the dice and like, yeah, whatever. That's how a lot of us play. Okay, on this autopilot. The way it's meant to be played is like family game night. You've got all the family around. You've got the competitive uncle who always, is cashed up and he always gets all the good properties. And then you've got the granny who likes to cheat and, and then kind of goes like, oh, I don't know what's happening and my memory must be, failing me. And you've got the whole family and you're like, that's it. I am playing. This is my night. I'm going to win. And this is how we're supposed to be playing this game. But unfortunately, what happens is when we are, and I'm going to explain you how it works with souls as well, but when we come down here, when we come down into this earth school, we forget, right? That's the rule. That's how it was designed. And so a lot of us have buddies, souls. I'm just thinking, how am I going to take you there? Okay. So these souls, so when you originate, you have your soul posse, you've got your friends, and it's a group of souls, like a soul group, and you reincarnate together all the time. And so you might say, okay, well, I'm going down this time. And your friend will say, okay, I'm going to stay back. I'm going to guide you from here. I'm going to stand back and I'm going to watch over you. And I'm going to, but just call and I'm here. And you're like, okay, but when I'm down there, I will forget. So remind me that you're here. And like, I will call out, I will remind you, but you have to listen. And then another friend from your soul group will say, I'm going to come with you this time. Last time you were my guide. I'm going to come down and I'm going to be your guide. And I'm going to help you learn your life lessons and fulfill your purpose. I'm going to help you because you helped me last time. And it's usually souls that are very close and they always reincarnate together. And usually they always want to be lovers. They always want to be together. But there's some that just want to be near each other. So the way in human terms, how we know when someone's from your soul group is like, for example, whether it's your parents, whether it's your friends, siblings, loved ones, your lovers, you have this feeling like you're so close to them. Even a stranger, when you met your partner maybe, or a best friend, and you felt like you've known them forever. Like you could share your deepest, darkest secrets and know they're safe with them. That's because you're from the same soul group. When you're not from the same soul group, what it feels like in human terms is you meet you have your parents, right? And you feel like, how are we even related? We have nothing in common. They're like from another planet, right? And there's this distance, or you clash all the time. And when you clash and there's this distance, it's because they're from another soul group, but your soul has chosen these humans as the parents because it's thought they're the best people to help me get a good start so that I can learn my lessons. Whether it's by creating really horrible family situations or really amazing situations and be very supportive, whatever your life lessons are, whatever your purpose is, it decided I'm going to go down, I'm going to go as a child of theirs. And I pick these people. And so then we're here and we're born and we forget and we have to deal with the demands of physical life, right? Which is, growing up, school, work. You have to earn money. You have to, navigate through relationships, heartbreaks, stuff that goes on in our heads. It's really hard for souls because nowhere else but here do they navigate through all this stuff in 4 ways at the same time: physical body, spiritual, the mindset through the mind, the ego, and then the emotions. So they have to navigate through it all in all these 4 ways simultaneously. That's really hard because nowhere else do they have to do that. So Earth is almost like the Mount Everest of, for souls, and really only the brave souls, line up to come down here and evolve. And a lot of us are like this, right? They go through life, like we go through life like this. And we're like, oh, I've got this horrible job. Oh my God, my in-laws suck. And oh my God, I'm getting peanuts, but there's no way I can change it. And we've got all these bills coming and I hate my job. But all these things are happening. There's no way out. It's all just happening to me, blah, 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 blah. And you go like this. And I'm going to be stuck in this job till I retire and get my golden watch. And if you don't find a moment where you awaken, where you see that there's so much more, then basically you go through life like this. In the meantime, your guide up there that promised you he's going to try and contact you, he's trying to contact you. He will come in your dreams, send you messages. Maybe you'll start seeing numbers, the feathers. You might hear something. You might see the right movies, see the right books. You might end up in the right group. He's trying very hard to get in touch with you, but he can't do much more than that because free will. He can't impose anything. So he's trying to get in touch with you. And sometimes people die and they never experience life like this. They never connect to their guides because they're so bogged down by the physical, things that are happening here on earth, earning money, having a job, even if it's an awful job, just putting up with things. But sometimes your guys go like, no, we got to wake them up. We got to wake them up. They've got a big role to play here. We have to wake them up. And so the only way they can wake you up is by you going through a traumatic experience, or sometimes women after they give birth, they go through these emotional things and they're so open that finally messages are coming through. And sometimes a soul will take one for the team and decide, you know what, I've done my lessons, I've done enough, I'm going to exit now, because the pain that you will feel from me exiting will maybe crack you open enough that you will get the messages. And hopefully you do, because then you start seeking out maybe spiritual guidance, maybe you look into therapy, you're cracked open so that messages are coming through. But the one thing that I know for sure is that none of us are here to play a supporting role or be the understudy to someone else's dreams. We're all here to play a big role, a big, big role. And I see this in my readings all the time. It's funny because the clients that come to me, they only see that tip of the iceberg that sticks out of the water. And there's all this other stuff that's underneath that I get to see. And then I get to kind of show it to them. Like, look where your soul has been. Like, look what you've done. Look, the stuff that you had to endure. And you came back. And usually someone will always ask me, so why do souls even keep coming back? Like, aren't they perfect? Why do they have to evolve? And I've asked actually my guides, and the best answer that I got was this great analogy, and it has to do with soccer. So imagine you're walking past a park and, kids, let's say, are playing soccer then, are really good, and you join in. And you don't know how to play soccer, but you join in. And so you start playing, kicking the ball around. You have no idea what you're doing, but it's so much fun. And when you finish the game, you're like, oh my God, this was amazing. I'm coming back tomorrow. And you come back. And again, you don't really know what you're doing, but you're kicking the ball around. You kind of know, getting to know, what's going on. But you had so much fun at the end of it that you go like, I'm coming back tomorrow. And so you come back tomorrow. And now all of a sudden, hey, you even kicked the goal. You're trying to pick up some skills. It's awesome. You get to know stuff. And so you go back tomorrow, again the next day. And again, you learn a little bit more and you go back. Each time it's so much fun. You get so much out of it. And then after a while of going back every day and playing this game, you know all the tricks. You can kick a goalie like, Beckham. And you love it so much. And then at some point, there's nothing else for you to learn and you feel like, okay, well, it's been fun. I'm kind of tired. I'm bored. I'm ready to go home. And that's when souls just never return. So, free will. I think that's my last little bit. And can I actually tell you, this is something that's really interesting because when I first learned that I can do this, like in my meditations, I see these, it's always like a movie, snippets of a movie, like a trailer, it's almost like a trailer to a good movie of someone's past lives and their gifts and its symbols. And it's not, I always say, it's not like Patrick Swayze shows up and talks to you kind of thing for me. I just see these symbols or pictures and then I feel it. And my best experience was when I saw one of my past clients, and I know she won't mind me saying this, she was on a Titanic and she was drowning, and I felt it in the water, like the cold water, and my eyelids felt like they were frozen. Like I don't think I can even open them up. It's like, have you ever gone to sleep and then you kind of like wake up and you feel like you can't open your eyes? So I feel it so much, and I really try to convey this in my readings so that whoever I'm reading for, my clients, can feel it. It's that amazing. And so the first thing actually that came to mind when I kind of discovered this was it was not that hey, I wasn't a popular kid, okay? So the little spotlights that I got from bringing my cards to school were pretty cool. And you would have thought that the first thing I thought when I discovered this was like, yes, I'm special. But it was actually, my first thought was, wow, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Because by that stage, I forgot it about my friend on the other side talking to God or guides. My mom passed away in the meantime, so, and I had kids, and I just thought, stuff that. I'm turning my back fully on the whole spiritual stuff. And here I was now, when I discovered this, I was like, wow, I am being guided. Not like guides are these puppeteers or whatever they're called playing with us, and we've got these strings and they're like doing what they want. But, oh, hi, Leah. Did I say hi to you? I can't remember. Hi. I'm going to check your comments in a minute. I didn't realize there's so many. So they're not like playing with us. We're not on any strings, but it's more the free will. The way it works is, how do I say it? I've got this great analogy that I would love to share with you. Let me check the comments first, and then we'll do the visualization. That's how I'm going to share it with you because it's going to be so much fun. Yes, we have to listen, Tracy says. Oh, Brooke, my wake up was losing my best friend 4 years ago. I'm sorry, Brooke. Yeah. Sometimes it's these big events that have to happen, right? To kind of wake us up. It's beautiful that we come back, Tracy says. Thank you, Leah. When does Earth School start? Well, we're right in the midst of it. Thank you, Tracy. I'm glad I'm back as well. And thanks to Tracy, I am diving back into tarot cards because that was one thing that I was sort of like, oh, I don't know if I should touch them. But Tracy's amazing, and I'm glad. I can't wait for your workshop. I think it's tomorrow, yes? Okay. Let's let's dive into this visualization because I really want to. I want you to see how I see what we're doing here on Earth, okay, and the whole free will. So you can close your eyes if you want to, and if you don't, that's fine. But I would like you to picture you as a child with your friends, and there's a big maze in front of you, and you want to go in there because there's prizes scattered through the maze, and there's a big prize at the end. And with your friends are standing there and you're planning, right? And you go like, okay, we've got a map. We're going to go in, we're going to split up, we're going to start looking so that we can, get some good prizes. And one of your friends says, you know what, I'm going to climb on a tree and I'm going to be sitting up there and I'm going to be calling out to you guys because from there, I can see so much further away. So just make sure you listen and I'm going to tell you where to go. Like, okay, cool. So you decide to go into the maze. But so are at least 50 other kids going in. And you all split up. And some kids will like be rowdy and push you and try to get the prizes. Some will be really greedy, like snatching things out of your hands. Some will be a little bit sneaky and they'll, gain your trust, pretend that they're really nice. They want to help you. Hey, come over here with me. I know the secret way. And then they lead you astray into a dead end. And in the meantime, your friend is sitting in a tree and he's calling out, like, don't trust him. No, no, don't go there. That's a dead end. But it's so noisy and there's so many people and so much is happening down here in this maze that you can't hear him. So you try to find your friends. You look through the maze, you pick up some prizes, nice. And then finally you find each other. And everyone's like sharing, like, look what we found, and we've got the map, and let's do this together. And so one of your friends is holding the map, and you're going, you're looking, and you might trip over a log or some rocks, but you'll remember not to do that again. So remember when we turn here, there's these rocks, or there's a log. And then your friend turns out that they had the map upside down, and you end up in a dead end. And even though your friend in the tree was calling out and saying, no, go right, that's a dead end, you can't hear him because so much is happening down here and it's so noisy, and your friends down here are talking to you. But it's okay, because you guys are doing it together and it's fun, right? So you're looking for it and you're looking and you're finding prizes and you're like navigating through it, and people are a bit mean. The other kids are pushing and shoving. But amidst it all of a sudden you remember your friend in a tree. You turn around and you look at him. Yes, yes, he's been calling, he's been waving. He's been trying to get your attention all this time. And you stop and you listen. And when you listen, you can hear his instructions so loud and clear. You can hear him. And he's showing you. So you take your friends and like, hey, there he is. We forgot about him. And so you listen and you follow his instructions and you get to the end and you get this amazing, amazing prize. And it doesn't matter whether it's your dream life with, fancy cars, big mansion, whether it's just time spent with family that you had. Maybe your big prize was to do what you wanted without feeling like you had to be stuck in a certain pattern or stuck in a certain job. Maybe your gift is that you had the greatest love story. And now, as you age, you get to hold their hand. Doesn't matter what the price is, because you know what? Just in time, you remembered your friend in the tree who was guiding you from the other side. And you made it safely. The rest of the way was safe and a smooth breeze. So whether you listen to them, whether you listen to these pushy people, these other kids, whether you repeat the same mistake and keep tripping over the same log, whether you get upset because your friend didn't read the map correctly and guided you into a dead end, that's free will. What you choose to do, that's free will. Because ultimately, you don't have to listen to the guy in the tree. You don't have to listen to your guides at all. But if you do, you can be so certain that they're not going to lead you astray. And you have someone on the other side who can see so much further ahead than what we can hear down here in the maze. And they can lead you as long as you're willing to be soul led. So thank you for listening to me. I hope that you enjoyed this, that you found this helpful in some way, that maybe you had a few sparks, a few moments that made sense from my waffle. And I wanted to tell you so much more about where souls originate or where they train and how that affects who we are as humans. But I just didn't want to take so much of your time. But on my page, I do live videos and I talk a little bit more about it. So you can come and join me there. You can come and join me over on my Instagram if you're an Instagram kind of gal. And I also have a Facebook group, Soul-Led Spirit-Driven Women, and in there we get a little bit more intimate and we do pendulum Q&As and card pulls and just other fun things. I call it my purpose activation portal. So thank you for having me. Thank you, my lovely ladies who are here. Did I miss anything? Tarot, yes. Tracy, my spiritual mentor. Sophia, oh, you're my friend in the tree. Thanks, so. There's a you. Oh, thank you, Tracy. So here are guides. Yes. So, Brooke, the first thing I would say is just be open to it. So meditation helps. Meditation probably helps. You just have to be willing and open to hear them. So, how do I say it? What's the best thing? You can open up your channels by really just being still, going into a meditation, not a guided meditation always, but that's probably a good way to start. But go in with the intention, I want to meet my guides and I want to know who they are. And you will start seeing signs so clearly. So clearly. They'll be coming, you know, and you can even just talk. I like to test them. This is how I do because I need proof. So I tested them and I like to ask silly, stupid questions like, you know, what to have for breakfast or, you know, what would you like me to know today? Like, what do I need to know to navigate through this day? And then start writing. Journaling is a great way as well. And I do, in my unveiling sessions, we have met guides as well through the meditations. But yeah, just be open and listen. Thank you, Tracy. Ah, you're so amazing. If you have any questions for me after this, please feel free to leave them. I will come back and check them. I'm not even sure if this is showing everything, so I feel like I've waffled off your ear and I don't want to take up too much of your time. So I would love to connect with you. So like the unveiling. It was a bit magical. It's a bit magical, I have to say. But the unveiling was one of these things that I did and I just had to trust and it happened. So I really hope that one of the messages that will come out of this workshop is that you don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to see the whole road. You just need to see a little bit, and that's where you're going. And then when you get there, you'll see the next bit. All right, my lovelies. Have an amazing day. It was such a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Carly, for hosting this. It was so nice. Bye.